Hello everyone, and welcome to a demonstration for the latest updates for the Toccata and Vivace followers. Now, I'm not exactly sure what number of updates this will be, but this is, whatever day, this is like, what, late June, June 28th or something like that, so this is the newest versions of them that are the first versions of them that include MCMs. This is primarily because they now have the ability for you to completely customize how their combat behavior works. This is modeled off of my Minerva follower that RX and I did together, and so this is pretty much identical to that in many ways. Rather than sit here and talk about this, I'm just going to get in game and show you all the MCMs, the features. I'm not going to cover everything about them, because a lot of the combat parts I talked about in previous Minerva videos, which I will leave links to, even though it's, I'm talking about Minerva in those, it still applies to Toccata and Vivace. The combat settings that you can do, they will have the same exact effects. So let me go ahead and load up and get in game. Now, because you may be wondering why I'm in the menu, because now there's a reason for that. When you load the game, you will get a couple of objectives or quest markers, and as you can see, I've got Toccata and Vivace on my screen. You can see the notifications in the top left.
Oh, hey there.
Hello, Lydia. And there's a reason for that, because now you have map markers on them. This is just to help you keep track of where they are. Now, you may be wondering, don't they stay at the same place? Why should I need these? Aren't they always there? Not anymore. Well, it kind of depends. Toccata especially. Vivace not so much, because she doesn't go too far away from the Nightgate Inn. But Toccata mainly, because normally she's in the Temple of Kinnereth. But that's not always true anymore. Both Vivace and Toccata have had AI schedule updates. They don't just sit in the same place anymore. They now behave like normal citizens. They'll walk around wherever they are. They'll go to shops. They'll take strolls. They'll go places. Toccata will even walk outside Whiterun, visit the farms. I think she stops in and eats lunch at the Haunting Brew Meadery one day during the week. I mean, she does stuff like that. So Vivace is a little bit more restricted. It depends on if you're using the cutting room floor mod or not. If you are, then she has I think she'll shop an additional store. She'll have a different kind of wandering patrol package where she'll just kind of walk around outside. Then if you don't have it, she'll just kind of, just do whatever outdoors during the day if it's not snowing or raining, and then just kind of come inside at night. So, but I'm going to get over here and go ahead and open the menu and show you all their MCMs. So their pictures here, I don't know if RX wants these. I have sent him the files, I believe, just yesterday or day before yesterday. So he just got back with me that he's working on some updates for him. So I don't know if you may not see. If these are different, don't freak out. It's just the fact that's what I have loaded right now. So the spells page is very self-explanatory. If the option is selected, the Toccata in this case, or I'm just calling the follower has the spell. So she has Ice Spike. If she does not have Lightning Bolt, you select that, she now has it. So this is just to give you the option to control what spells she uses in combat and kind of tweak that to your liking. If you're wondering what these are, Minerva, Toccata, and Vivace all have, their own name behind Fireball, Ice Storm, and Chain Lightning. That's because these are area effect spells. With Fireball, normally you cast a Fireball spell, it hits the ground, explodes, deals damage right there, but also hits anybody else within a certain radius. So it's kind of annoying if, let's say, you've got, I don't know, like a bandit raid on a town, or a wolf has wandered into a town and is now attacking people. You'd want to cast this, but at the same time, you don't want to hit that other NPC. Well, this is basically a Fireball. It has the same power as Fireball, same thing with Ice Storm and Chain Lightning. But when it hits, it doesn't deal an area of effect damage. It just does damage upon impact. It's basically a more powerful Firebolt is really all it is. I've just added those because it's just super annoying when they cast this and they hit a neutral NPC and now they're fighting this. It's a pain. So that's why they're in here. So if you'd rather have the original ones, well, sorry. So Toccata's only uniqueness here is her Icy Sting spell. RX may not want that in there always. I know he removed it for one version, but it's here. So you can turn that on if you would like that as well. That's unique. The only thing that's really unique to Toccata. Class and combat style, I won't talk about too much because I covered that in Minerva videos, which I will link below. The only thing I will mention is her class. This is what determines her skills and attributes, which I'll get to that page in just a second. You can choose from, I believe, 11 or 12 different classes. I can't remember exactly how many. Keep in mind, though, that her, as it says there at the bottom, they will only change when you change her class. This will only take effect the next time you level up or before you meet her for the first time, before you actually, the game generates and renders her in for the first time. You can change this and it will take effect. Like, I can't remember if I've met Toccata yet. I don't remember on this save if I have actually, if she has been loaded in yet or not. But if she has not, then you can change it right now, and then once you meet her, though, you'll have to wait for the next time you level up for every situation. This is how all NPCs work in the game. NPCs that level up, it's a level or a multiplier, that level up with the player, like when you level up, they level up. The game, once the player levels up, all those NPCs that multiply or level up with you will then get their stats and skills redistributed if you change their class. That's kind of, it updates it when you level up. That's just how the game works. The troubleshooting and options page just allows you to control a few things. I'm going to kind of cover them here in Toccata's menu, not so much with Vivace, just because their menus are identical, barring one option. Of course, well, two options with the spells page there. So this options right here will allow you to stop combat with them. Why do I have these in here? This is just basically in case she is fighting a NPC or somebody, she accidentally starts combat with them. And you're like, hey, quit, cut it out, stop right now. You can come in here and click this option. If you actually know the console command, it's a little faster just to click on her and do it. But for those of you that are not comfortable doing the console or don't know the command, come in here and she will stop fighting. This will force her to quit fighting temporarily. Of course, if she's surrounded by 4 bandits and you click this option, she'll sheath her weapon or put her spells away, and then immediately take them back out again and start fighting once it kind of reinitializes combat. This one is useful if she is heading maybe a neutral or a guard, especially for guards. Like, let's say she accidentally strikes a guard with a spell, and now she's got 4 town guards coming after her for some reason. You're just like, oh, great, this is annoying. I don't want to attack guards and get bounties. You can come in here and click this option. And what this will do is this will say, hey, Toccata, and all these guards that are fighting her, everybody, all at once, quit combat. Stop. And since the guards don't normally attack Toccata, and Toccata doesn't normally attack guards, when everybody stops, they don't reinitialize, they don't go into combat again because they don't normally, their combat reactions towards each other are not normally hostile. Of course, it's annoying when like one guard didn't get told to stop for some, I've never really had this not work. Occasionally there's hiccups with the actual who's fighting who type of scenario, and it's just more, sorry, my chair is making noise and I'm moving, which is not helping. I apologize for the background sounds you're hearing, but it works pretty much most time. On rare occasions does not work, but this is basically there to get everybody, hey, everyone cut it out, you all do not need to be fighting each other. This is her protection status. You can change this to essential, she cannot die. Unprotected means you could walk up to her, open the console, type kill, and she'll drop over dead. You can also be standing over, I don't know, several 100-meter drop and move her to you, and she'll fall and die. You know, she can die through anything under any means whatsoever. Protected means at some point during combat, the player needs to hit her or be the one to kill her. If she goes into combat and the player never hits her, she'll always drop to her knees and never die. If the player strikes her once during combat and then she gets down to 0 health, she could die. And if she goes below 0 health during combat and the player had never struck her, you could walk up to her and either swing your sword, cast a spell, and if the damage would be enough to kill her, it will. So basically, this only allows the player to kill her or be the one to help in the killing of her, but that sounds kind of weird. So anyway, essential is generally recommended just because I don't like reloading. This is the teleport option. This will allow you to move Toccata to your exact position. If you are using the scripted version, which another thing to note, this will be the same for scripted or non-scripted. The menu will be identical, barring this one option down here, which I'll cover in just a second. This will just move her to you. You can click it, and it will instantly move her to your position. She'll be right behind you. You can just turn around and talk to her. If the relationship rank gets messed up for some reason, and she's of the incorrect value, you can fix it here. This is probably not something that's really necessary, but perhaps it could have some uses for you if you're using other mods that do things based off relationship rank. This is a map marker. This will allow you to track Toccata no matter where she is. True means map marker on Toccata true. Yes, it is. If it says false there, that means no, there is no map marker. The dialogue option will only be available. It will be shown, but grayed out basically means you can't select it if you're using the non-scripted version. With the scripted version, this is her healing scripted version, of course, this will display the let's talk about your heal dialogue option. Now, this doesn't do anything other than show or hide the option from appearing. Whatever you tell her to do or not to do, or tell her to do not, whatever you've told her to do, she will still do. She won't ignore that. This just makes that option go away. So maybe you're somebody that sets up Toccata early on in game, and then you never change the way that she behaves in combat with her healing. It might be nice to just remove that option from appearing, so that way you don't have to go through so many, perhaps if you have other mods that add a lot of dialogue options. You know, it's just like, oh, I gotta find the option that I want. This just makes that disappear, is all that does. You can turn it on or off here. She'll still do whatever you've told her to do when in combat. The stats and skills page is just allowing you to view her current skills and her relevant stats that are more important. If some of these are not correct, that's just because she's not loaded, I believe, in what's called high memory. That's just basically the game is not actively pulling and grabbing data from her off that moment. It's not loaded in the current cell or group of cells that are loaded and it's pulling from. So just go to where she is and these values, like for instance, she's a Nord, so she'll have 50% frost resistance. Well, right now she doesn't. I haven't gone to get her and loaded her in. Once I do that, then this will show 50% or more or less, depending on whatever other enchantments or magic effects have effect on her. So this just lets you view these things here. If these are 0, 3, and 5, that's normal. Don't freak out if these never change. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with these and what exactly these pull from. They don't seem... I'll have to look into more exactly what this is. I believe this is just the base value stats for what these are. Outside of combat, the slowness of the regenerations. But again, I'll have to look into more of that. So don't freak out if these never change. This is normal. The fist options, for those of you that use fists and know what this is, this will let you save a preset or load the preset here. For those of you that do not have fists, there's no harm. It'll just say, hey, you don't have fists, you can't load or save presets. No biggie. This won't cause any problems because of creative... Basically, I've told the game and the menu saying, hey, if the person doesn't have fists, then don't let them do these options. So, of course, her protection status will not change or will not be saved. So you need to do that. I haven't found a efficient way of doing that just yet. Moving on to Vivace's menu, there is only one difference besides the spells page with the Icy Sting spell, which I will cover here right now. This is the voice type. Normally you are used to selecting a voice type upon install with Vivace. You don't do that anymore. You now select it through a menu system here. Now, you may be looking at this list going, now, wait a second. You've got, like, Argonian. You've got Khajiit. You've got the old voices. Dude, well, why? Why not just have follower voices? Well, if you're using another mod that adds follower dialogue for additional voice types, or my RDO mod, which is coming up whenever I can actually get that thing done, that will add dialogue for all those voice types. My RDO mod supports follower dialogue, fully voiced dialogue for all these voice types. So I just give you the option here to select whatever one you would like. So don't freak out if Vivace is using a different voice than what you're normally used to. I had to set it to a voice type by default, so I just chose female, young, eager. I had to pick one, so she doesn't have having a no voice type, I guess, could be a problem. I guess you could change it once you load it in game, but still. You need to select the one, or you don't need to. You can choose whichever one you'd like. It will instantly change on the spot. I know that may sound a bit weird to some of you all, being able to hear her talk as a Argonian, and then a Dark Elf, and then a Nord, and it's just... But that's there. That's why it's there. You don't select that option upon install anymore. So what I'm going to do now is go outside to where they are and show you all kind of what's going on with them. What's the new additions? What's the, where they are, they're kind of, and a few of the additional options just to make sure that you all understand exactly how they work. So if you kind of got everything and you understood, hey, I'm good to go, I know what all these options do, I don't need to watch anymore and you don't need to see them demonstrated, you can click off this video right now. That's pretty much it. If you like to see them demonstrated, that's what I'm going to do. So I'll be right back once I am outside, and I believe probably Toccata first, since I'm here in Whiterun. So see you all in just a second. Okay, so here I am outside in Whiterun. And one thing I will say is I do apologize for the disgustingness that is my NPCs that are not overhauled, that are not been Beagenized, basically because I think I have like one other mod that does things. So, but yeah, oh, somebody over there is walking over. Actually, she's gonna go eat. So, but I don't have any texture overhauls installed for my NPCs that I normally use. I'm like For those of you wondering, I am using, I think, about 100 less plugins, at least, than what I normally do, and goodness knows however many other non-plugin mods that I use. I mean, I'm using a very scarce amount. I only have like 80 or something, or 90 plugins running, or maybe even 70. Not very many. So, for those of you that are, they're like, "Ugh, dude, your NPCs look horrible," they don't normally look this bad. I have overhauls. It's just, this is not to look pretty. This is just for testing, so... But, as you can see, it looked like Toccata, at least it appeared to be, went inside here, inside the tavern. So, I'm going to follow her in here. And, there's somebody upstairs there. So now, normally you're used to seeing her being in the Temple of Kinnereth, but of course I turn my HUD on. There's a map marker over there. I go to the map, it'll, of course, be inside, and there you go. Toccata no longer just hangs out inside the Temple of Kinnereth. She now does things, like I said before, and one of those is she'll come in here and eat. So, the torches, I have one. So there you go. So now, I do not have the no greet on. The one where NPCs don't talk to you when you walk up to them. This guy has the same thing, his package right now, it's the same as Toccata's. They don't greet you when you walk up to them. If you initiate conversation, they will. And golly, that horrible climbing with the cloaks. But they won't always, or they won't talk to you when you just walk up to them. If you talk to them, they will initiate conversation. But as you can see, there's Toccata in the very close nip slipping that's going on. That outfit is nearly too much. But what I'm going to do now is just show you all the dialogue option that you can get when she's a follower in the heal thing, just to kind of demonstrate it for you.
You're a strapping young man. Don't be a stranger.
And of course that's coming up in RDO, which will be released
Lead the way.
at some point, once I'm actually finished with it. So, now normally,
Can I help you?
you're used to seeing this right here, and she will...
Let me know if you need anything.
She will then, you go through the options, select what you want. When you come into her MCM, all you need to do is go here, uncheck it,
I've got your back.
and as you can see, it's no longer there.
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
It just removes it, is all it does. You can come back here, turn it on once more, and it's back in there.
If you need anything else, just holler.
Now, one of the things I will do really quick, just this, I'm not going to do this with Vivace, just Toccata, because it works the same for both, is when I come in here and you see the map marker that I have on here, that's why I turned the HUD on, I can turn that off. And I go back to, it's not no longer on the HUD, go in here, and as you can see, it's completely gone. However, you go back into your menu, and if you select it here and listen for the sound, you hear that noise, that's just the objective updated. As you can see, it says Toccata right there on screen, and on the HUD, it's right there on here, and it's, once again, now in your miscellaneous quest journal. So, that's going to do it pretty much for Toccata. I'll be right back once I am where Vivace is, and just to show you all the voice type changes that you can now choose through the MCM. So I'll be right back when I'm there with Vivace. Okay, so here I am now back just outside the Nightgate Inn. I'm using the cutting room floor version. There will be two versions of Vivace. I think he wants to do a faux mod install for that. Select whichever one applies to you. If you're not using cutting room floor, you can select that, and if you are, then you'll select that one. So here's Vivace. She's outside. She was actually just shopping inside the alchemist shop. But what I'm going to do now is and she's gonna go eat lunch. But sorry, I'm gonna have to interrupt you.
Yes.
And get her to follow me here. We need to update that guy's package to fast walk instead of run, because he looks stupid
Lead the way.
running as opposed to just fast walking. But she, of course,
What can I do for you,
uses the
friend?
female young eager voice.
Is there anything else you need?
And you can change that if you'd like to whichever one that you prefer having on her whenever you install. If you, for some reason, like the female condescending voice, which is, what's her name? Stonearm.
I've got your back.
And you can see it change. I know this, for some people this is really weird hearing this, but this is, you now
Lead on.
make this choice, or make, select her voice type in the MCM as opposed to just the install. This is just a little bit easier and cuts down on the number of plugins and makes it easier actually on RX with all the different faux mod options. So, but again, you can select whichever one you would like, and you can whichever one you want. Again, if you're not using a mod that supports follower dialogue for some of these voice types, they won't give it. So just be careful with that. and make sure that you select one that is applicable. Hopefully you're familiar with the ones, the voice types. If not, you can kind of just try them out, or you can pretty much look at the other voice types that other NPCs have and kind of just go based off of those that you know have follower dialogue and just kind of mimic their voice type to whichever one that you want to have. So anyways, that's going to do it. Hopefully you all enjoy these updates to the mods. They now are a little bit more, I don't know, I guess you could say, they act a little bit more like citizens. They now have daily schedules. Toccata will do things around Whiterun, Vivace will do things around here, and oh boy, there's an Imperial Courier, and the Stormcloaks are beating it up, so we're just going to ignore that. And of course, now that you can totally customize how they behave in combat, I'll link the Minerva ones, the videos in the description. You can go watch those and get familiar with what exactly all those settings do if they aren't clear enough for you when just looking in the menu. So take care, everybody, and I will see you all in the, well, some other time, another video. So take care and have a good one.